thank you guys for coming. My name is McArthur, and I'm going to be talking to you guys about productivity tools for writers, particularly 3. There are so many. I could have talked about this literally all day, but I picked 3 that I liked because they have a really good free version, and free is good. They are cross-platform, so they work on just all of the devices or things that you could have, and they have web versions, so they're easily accessible. So we're going to talk about 3 different programs. I have a short slideshow, and that's what you have on a printout there for you. I know there's kind of hard to read on the small text, but you guys can follow along on there. And then I'll actually show you some ways that I use mine and can talk to you about some different things that you can do with templates and things like that. All right, so the first one I want to talk about is a program called Todoist. And this is primarily a task management program, so you can create projects within it and assign those projects different tasks. You can assign the projects to other people. So if you have a personal assistant or a secretary, you know, which you can have one of those, you can assign tasks to those people as well. So this is sort of how it works. It has a free version, which is really awesome. I used the free version for a really long time, and I upgraded to the premium version because I like reminders. Reminders is one of the things that comes with the premium version. And they also have a business plan, but that's probably more power than most people need. So let's see. So here is, I don't know how well y'all can see that. Can you see it? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. So here's the pricing for this. So the free plan costs nothing, but you get access on up to 10 platforms. So you can put it on your computer, your phone, your work computer, you know, your TV. I think you can put it on like the Kindle. You can do recurring due dates, so you can set up tasks to recur. For example, if you want to do a newsletter every month, you can set it to, you know, remind you to do that. It's secure. You get subtasks and projects, priorities, up to 80 active projects, and within those you can have as many tasks as you want. So I don't think I've ever gotten to 80 projects, but that's a lot. And then once you get to the premium version, which is I think $36 a year, you can get 300 projects, but you also get a few more really fun features like labels and reminders. I really like the reminders because it just pops up on my phone or on my computer or wherever I am saying, hey, don't forget to do this. I teach college as well as editing and all the other things and writing, and so I'll just have it at the beginning of class pop up a reminder, take attendance, because I forget. So yeah, you can use it for lots of things. Location-based notifications. So you know, if you're going to go write in a coffee shop, you can set it once you get there. Don't forget you're actually supposed to write, not get on Facebook, right? So you can do that. You can add tasks via email, so you can email things to it, add comments, upload files. So it's not very much, but you get a whole lot of benefits to the paid version. But the free one gives you plenty to play with to start. Let's see. One thing that I really like about this one, y'all competitive? No? You know, like play Tetris, I want to beat your high score. Yeah, I'm kind of like that. But Todoist has kind of a gamification option. It uses a system called Karma, and every time you complete tasks, you earn more Karma, and you can get different levels. And I'm thinking like Grandmaster or something right now. But when you get to the higher levels, you get like a free month of premium. Or 3 months sometimes, or you know, different kinds of stuff. if you just Google like premium codes, there's almost always one that you can at least try it on the internet. So some of the things that I've used this for, particularly for writing, are tracking the various writing projects that I'm working on, because I'm usually not working on just one thing. There would be something that's being edited, something that I'm currently drafting, something that I need to promote. So each book or each story gets its own project, and within that I can do a lot of things. Another thing that I use it for is for conventions and events. So each convention that I'm going to go to, I set a project for it. I put in there deadlines for things like when the applications are due, when I have to have panel suggestions back, if I've actually applied, because I know that's something I see on Facebook or on Twitter a lot. Did I actually apply to that? And people have trouble remembering if they had submitted it or not, or applying more than once because they could remember and already had. Another thing that you can do is use this to help you plan your blog posts or newsletter or social media, those kinds of things as well. So you can talk, drop in ideas for things you might want to post and then schedule it and do that. Let me show you a couple of things. This is mine. So it's kind of small. Let me make it much bigger. Let's try. No, okay. Well, so it has over here kind of a dashboard. It has an inbox, and you can email things. If you have the premium version, you can email things directly to that inbox, and they'll show up. It works really well, and they just show up in there. It also has a tab called Today. That anything that you schedule, put a reminder on for today, will show up in that list. I've already done all the things that I need to do for today, so it gives me a picture. It says, you're all done for today, and then hashtag to do is 0. You can actually tweet that out or put it on Facebook. Just another way to engage with fans, with the people that you're writing with. It'll also show you the next 7 days, so what you have to do, see there's add attendance, for different things that you're scheduled for. You can also add projects to your favorites, so they'll show up right there on that top part. For example, this one's Contagion. So I had it broken into 2 categories, things I need to take and things I need to do. And so I have them checked off, so like TV, and I had a reminder at 6 o'clock this morning, don't forget to take the TV. And so it popped up on my phone. And you can check them off. You can make things like this. It uses Markdown. So, for example, to make this bold, I just put 2 stars on either side of it. And you can make it something like a header by just adding a colon after it. And so then it's not a task that you could check off, but it's a category that you can add subtasks to and expand it or make it smaller, depending on what you want to see on your screen. You can add comments. So here I could attach a file. I could use a file from my computer. I could find something on Dropbox. I could use Google Drive. So I could put any kind of file in there that I wanted to, and it would keep up with it. Now, when you update the file, if you're just dragging it in from your computer, you will have to put a new version in, but you can put as many comments as you like, and it will record them. You can do voice comments, you can do smiley faces, so all different kinds of things. Let's see. For writing, here's one of my books that I'm currently working on. And I have in here, even though these aren't actual specific tasks, I like to put in like a blurb about the book or just some information. And that helps me kind of get in the frame of mind of writing. When I go in and look at it, I'm like, okay, this is what I want to work on. I can kind of read a little bit about it, where I'm going. And then I have it broken into categories, planning, drafting, revising, and all the other things. And I have it broken down with outline and to send it to the editor, and then drafting each chapter, because I don't know about you, but it makes me feel a whole lot better when I can check something off or cross it off and say, yep, that one's done. And also I know here which one I've completed the chapter. So I know I didn't put like add fight scene, that I need to go back and actually add to it. So I know that that chapter's completed. But I could also add a comment. So I could say, you know, complete, except for fight scene. And then it'll, you know, show me that I have a comment there, so I can go back and look at it. You can also put in notes, something like, you know, go back and look, figure out what this character's last name was, or, you know, anything like that, so you can look at it per chapter and see what you need. It doesn't link to your manuscript, but if you're away, you know, you can look at it and say, yeah, these are some things I could do in 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and put them in there. And then I have for revising, so if I revised a chapter, I check it off. That way I know that it's ready, that particular chapter is ready for me to send to where it's supposed to be going. And then all the other things are other stuff. So I have one of those for each of the projects that I'm working on. So I have them in series. One of the nice things with this is the project section, and you can add emojis. I like them because they're pretty, they're cute, and it helps me. I don't have to read; I can look for the picture, which I read all day. I read for a living, so sometimes looking for a picture is a good thing. It makes it fun. And so I have it so you can add subtasks or sub-projects, and so you can hide things. For example, here's the one for Falstaff books. As you can see, there's 211 tasks there. I don't know if you can actually see it. There's a little number. There's 211 tasks there. So if I expand that, that's going to take up like most of the screen. And so, you know, I like to keep that hidden when I'm not actually working on that, so I can focus on other things. But if you just click on that main project, at least on, it doesn't do this on mobile, which I wish it did. I'm hoping we'll fix that because they've got some new updates coming pretty soon. You can actually scroll through all of the projects that you have on one thing. So you can scroll through all of them, all of the sub-projects and all of the tasks. So you can do that. If I'm working in a series, I can put the series there and then nest the books that are in the series underneath it, just to keep it a little more organized. And one of the things that I do for conventions, so for example, I'm going to Mysticon in a couple weeks, so I'll use it as an example. So I have the tasks that I needed to do. That's where I would put something like apply, or, you know, have I gotten rejected or accepted, you know, what's my status on it. And again, you can just put in a comment, you can drop an image in there, or you can forward an email to it, any of those kinds of things, and I put it there. I usually have, so you can see all the completed tasks there. Any of the emails I get, I forward them to it. That way I know what they've sent me, and I don't have to search in my inbox for it. For example, if I open this, it just sends it as a little attachment, and you can see it's just really easy to pop up. You can find the information really well there. So I break it into things I need to do, preparing for the event, like making sure I have a hotel reservation, if I need a hotel reservation, or those kinds of things. And then after the event, I usually have some things to do. I want to update my website to show it not as a current event, and log all the receipts and the tax stuff. And a lot of times I drop them in there right there as a comment, because I'm going to archive the project and can still access it. And then decide if I want to go again to it. So, pretty neat for keeping track of a lot of information and helping you be productive in that way. You guys have questions about that one?
So the reminders only come in the premium version?
You can set it to have to show up like in the today view, but to have like a push reminder is for 3 man 1. But like I said, if you go and you look on the internet, a lot of times there's codes that you can get for a couple months for free. They usually do it. Yeah, and then you can try it and see if you actually use it. Yeah. Because I found that I do use the reminders because I sometimes lose track of time when I'm working on something. It's like, hey, you need to do something else, and so the reminders were really helpful for me. But a lot of times people don't need them. Another feature is labels. One of the things that I do is put time labels on stuff, on some things. So if I have 5 minutes, I can say, okay, well, what can I do in 5 minutes or 15 minutes? So I put a label on it, and then I've got 5 minutes. Let me pick one of these, which one I can do. So like 5 minutes. There's like 75 in there right now, but I could scroll through and pick something and get something done in that spare 5 minutes that I have. And that's actually a system that comes from David Allen's Getting Things Done system, or GTD, and he says to do that. And I'm just like, well, I have low energy and I only have 5 minutes. What can I actually get done? And so that's that one. Any other questions about that one?
Does it do mailer service? Because you have the newsletter. It doesn't do like mailer lead.
No, you can use programs like Zapier or If This Then That, and it has integrations between the two. It does have a whole lot of integrations with other programs. So, for example, if you, I haven't actually used the integrations with the newsletter because I'm really bad about sending out my newsletter. But I know there is one because I've scrolled through looking for other things. You can set it to, well, if I add a task to this, it'll, add a reminder. One of the things that people use a lot, you'll use Gmail. If you star, and if there's an integration, if you star an email, it'll send it to Todoist as a task, so that it'll pop up in your task manager automatically, which is really neat. I have one of the integrations that I actually do use is with Weather Underground. And anytime it's supposed to rain, I have it to send me a task for that day to take an umbrella. And that way, as I'm getting all this stuff ready to leave for work or wherever I'm going, it says, it's going to rain, take an umbrella. And yeah.
How long does it take to set all that up? Because I think I would obsess about it. It would take me forever to plug everything in and make it, does that make sense? I think I'd spend so much time organizing it that I'd be wasting time by organizing it.
Mm-hmm. It took the first time. It didn't take really all that long. I think I set it up initially in less than an hour. But you can also, a very cool thing that they have is templates. So you can actually save things as templates. So let's say I wanted to start a new project. You can go over here and import from a template, and you can create the templates too. So what I've done, if I can remember where I saved them, let's see, there it is. Templates. That makes sense. So, for example, if I'm doing something like something for Falstaff, and I need to do a developmental edit, a copy edit, a proofread, and a cover. That's a lot of tasks in a single project. But I can take and I created it once, saved it, it's just an Excel file, and then it creates all of those tasks in there already. And it uses smart language. Yeah, it's really nice. And those, as you can see, they're already tagged. So like all the ones that I put tags on, it keeps them. It also can do smart dates. So if you put send the file to the author, you can do 3 days later, do something else. And it'll remember your date, like what it is. So it's not going to set it for February 9th every time. It'll be 3 days later. So you can do that. And recurring stuff. You can set things with due dates. You've got today, tomorrow, next week. It's got a smart scheduler, so it learns when you're likely to do tasks, and after you've used it for a while, it starts to say, hey, you'll probably want to do this on Tuesday. So if you didn't get it done, it'll say the next best day for you to do this is probably such and such day. And so it gives you suggested dates. Oh, let's see, there's Tuesday. Tuesday's my editing day, so it knows. So Tuesday, but I don't want that because that's a sample. And you can also add people to it. So if I wanted to export this as a template, so I set it up once, I can export it as a file, and here's that thing, use relative dates. So tomorrow means plus 1 day, or, and 3 days means 3 days later, from whenever you put it in. And it's really neat too because it uses natural language. So if I wanted to do the first Friday of every month, it'll set it to recur on the first Friday of every month, which is different than a lot of task managers because you have to go in and just say March 1st, April 1st. But this, you just type in natural language. Or you could type in, for example, with this one, I could do in a week. And there, next Saturday, it pops up. So that's the reason I always end up, sometimes I stray away from Todoist, but I always end up going back because of that natural language input. And that's not even setting a reminder, that's just having it show up in this today view, or in the next 7 days view. So you can see kind of what you've got done. One of the things when I'm planning my week, because I plan my week every Sunday, is I go into that 7 days and see what I've got as far as like meetings or any of those kinds of things. Do y'all use Google Calendar? Mm-hmm. Yeah. It works for all the other calendars, but Google works the best. It has two-way integration with Google Calendar so that it will have your tasks show up in Google Calendar, in your calendar for, if they're all-day events, they'll show up at the top, but whatever the time is. But if you move it in Google Calendar, it'll also move it in Todoist. So if you're looking at your calendar like, nah, I'm not doing that today, I'm going to move it to tomorrow, it would update in Todoist as well, that it would move it to the next day.
Does it go back the other way as well?
Yes. Yeah. And it works. I've never had it not work, and I use that feature quite a bit, so it's a really nice feature. And you can toggle that on and off too, so if you're like, I don't want to see all my to-do tasks, you can hide the calendar in Google Calendar. But it does have a one-way with the other types of calendars like iCalendar and Outlook and stuff like that. But the Google Calendar, it has both, so you can move them on Google Calendar and it'll show up. So, Todoist is really fun. I actually use all three of the tools I'm going to show you, but I use Todoist in conjunction with all the others. So if I need more than just a comment space, I'll usually use Evernote, which I'm talking about third. And you can put in like a link to a note and have it disconnect. Or you can put in a certain tag if you use a program like Zapier and have it automatically. If you put a tag on here, it'll create a note. Or if you create a note and tag it in Evernote, it'll create a task. So you can do it either way. So, really nifty tool. All right, you guys ready for Trello?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So Trello is, if you're very visual, you will probably like Trello. It's kind of a Kanban type system that has, you can add images, you can create really pretty things. It looks nice, and it has a great drag and drop option, so you can just move things around really easily. And so I use this for a lot of general planning more than anything else, but I also use Trello to keep track of things, particularly things that I'm working on other people's stuff with. For example, at Falstaff, we have a production calendar set up in Trello, so everybody knows like what stage everything is at. So we know who's working on what and what they're doing. So it works really well because everybody can see it. So for this one, the main thing is a board. So you create a board for each of your things. It would be much like a project in Todoist. And then within those boards, you can create lists that are in column form, and in each one of those lists, you can have cards. And cards can have files, checklists, and again, you can create a checklist once and reuse it, which is a huge thing for me because time. You can add comments, images, add due dates, any of those kinds of things. There is a free plan and a paid plan. I use the free one because I've never really needed more than what the free one had. So this one is probably, if you're like running a huge business, you would probably want it, like corporations and things use this. But the free one for most people works just fine. Sometimes you can earn like a month of Trello Gold, which is sort of like the business class, but I don't know if it has all the features. But like if you share it with somebody and they sign up, like if you send them an invitation and they sign up for it, you get a month of Gold for free. So you get like more power-ups and stuff like that. But you can do up to 10 megabytes of files from your computer. It syncs with Google Drive and OneDrive and Box and Dropbox. So it syncs pretty well. This one is really good for collaboration. One of the writers that I collaborate with, she and I have a shared board, and so we'll go in there and we'll work, because we have a whole cast of characters in that series. The power-ups in this one, again, I like cool things like I didn't show you all the karma in Todoist. You want to see it?
Sure.
Okay, let me show you right quick, because I almost forgot. If you go here, you can see right here it'll tell you if you completed your goal. It says you conquered the day and then my username, but sometimes it'll say mischief managed, and it always makes me happy when it says mischief managed. But you can look at karma and you can see a trend of how much you're getting done or how much you're losing, and it's different levels. So you start out with a beginner. I'm currently right here at Master, getting pretty close to Grandmaster, but you can see what you earned karma points for, if you meet your daily goal or a weekly goal. If you leave things overdue for more than 4 days, it starts to take your karma away. So, but you can reschedule them, and it doesn't. So it makes you, if you want to keep your karma, then you can do that. But it's kind of like a little game to keep you in there. Let's see. Let me show you inside of Trello. So this is one of the series that I'm working on, and this is the board that I'm using. And you can create cool backgrounds. You can change them. So somebody give me something to search for. Come on back.
It's a cave.
A cave? Okay. So if I wanted it to look like a cave, that one looks kind of cool. You can, change the backgrounds. I do this when I get bored and I'm procrastinating, so don't do that.
Yeah.
So, but you can make it something that would be inspiring, like I get this book done, I'm going to go on that vacation, something like that. But in this, I have a column or list for to do, things that I need to do. For example, that was really overdue. And so I can label it, I can put a due date, which it will send you a reminder if you want. You can attach files, you can do checklists, things that you needed to do. You can hide the stuff. It tells you what percentage, how far you are completed in what you're working on. The power-ups, my favorite's custom fields, and so you can put in as many fields as you want. I put like word count goal, but you could do anything that had a checkbox, a date, a drop down, a number, or text. So if I wanted to do text and just leave myself a note, I could do that. And then it'll show up on the front of the card when I refresh it. Anything that I want to put. But you can add in images. So this is an image I put in there, and you could, have it show up on the card or not. So if I wanted to take it away, I don't have to see the images on there. If you have something that has a whole lot of images, you may want to take them away. You can do, so this is characters. I have a column for setting. So I can drop in maps of things, where they are, world building stuff. This is the outline. I called it synopsis because I felt fancy that day. But this is the outline of it. Oops, bad words. Sorry. And so we were just talking about that earlier. There's, I can have, what's supposed to happen in each chapter, where I am with that chapter, what part am I just outlining it, have I written it, have I revised it, similar kinds of things. So you see there's a lot of redundancy between this and Todoist. I don't use this one for my personal projects as much as I do for shared things. These are all the boards over here. So I'll show you this one, for example. This is the one that's shared, and you can actually upload your own images back there. That's the cover for the book. But this is something that my co-writer and I share, so we can put in, descriptions of each character and things like that. So we'll have them all in one place. I also have in here, I call it Pen Monkey, because sometimes that's how you feel when you're writing. But conventions, newsletter, things to do, things I'm waiting for, things I have done, and can move those around. So let's see, conventions. Oh, this one's Contagion, so we can move this over to Done, and things move really easily. You just drag and drop them and put them wherever you want to go. And with this one, what I do, I don't have all the conventions on here because I keep this a lot of times in Evernote, and I'll show you that next, is I put it in, and then you can change your status. So I put which status I wanted. So I'll know if I've applied and not heard back, or if I need to do something, or what's going on with it at that point. So that's Trello, and it does. You can also, if I can get it, put that. You can also create groups and add groups to the whole, add members to a whole group of boards. So you could do that if you were working on something. So several different things. Here's another series, and I hadn't added much to it because it was just an idea, but I've got it all there, so if I wanted to go back to it, I could see what I had done. Now you're going to pop up. Let's see. Another thing that I've used Trello for is places to keep deleted scenes or things that I want to write. Like I want to write this interaction between these two characters. I can write a little synopsis of it, or a little snippet, and then just put it in there. And then after I've written it, I can move it over to it being done. It's also a good place to keep ideas for blog posts or newsletter ideas that you want to put. You can even put in like pre-written tweets or Facebook posts if you're doing promo type things, and then just copy and paste them. This also has integrations with other programs. I think it does like TweetDeck and things like that, but you'd want to go through like Zapier or If This Then That, which is IFTTT, and you would connect them that way, which is free, by the way, most of the things. All right, any questions about Evernote? Okay, so Evernote is one of my favorite tools, and I like it because it's been around for a while, and it has an elephant, and it's green. So those are all great things for it. I think of it sort of like my second brain, where I use Evernote and Todoist in conjunction a lot. So whereas Todoist is my daily, I'm going to look at this and I got to get these things done, Evernote's where all the support stuff goes. And it's primarily a note-taking application, but there's a whole lot in there that it'll do. It's really powerful, but it can seem kind of scary at first. You end up with like this blank slate of stuff. You're like, I don't know. But I'll show you some things that you can do to make it easier. So with this one, you have notebooks. So you'll create a notebook, and within it you can add notes, and you can then take the notebooks and put them in stacks if you want to. So it's very much like, if you had like little one subject notebooks, you have, okay, well, this is my notebook for this book, and you write all your stuff in there. And then it's like, oh, well, all these are in this particular series, so sit them all right there and do them that way. But you can add text, images, you can do checklists, you can record, you can add files. Now, remember how I said with Todoist, you had to re-upload the file if you made changes? You can open them up in Evernote and change and save it, and it saves it. Like, it saves your changes in the file that's in there. So if I went in and added like a Word document and opened it up on one computer, worked on it, and then hit save, and when I went back to my other computer and opened it up from Evernote again, it would have my changes saved. And you get a pretty decent amount of space for it. Evernote's on all the platforms, but there is one program called Penultimate that's only on iPad. And it's where you can use like the iPad pencil and write, do handwritten notes. But it has amazing optical character recognition, so you can search for handwritten stuff. So you can type in a search and it'll search all the stuff, and if you scanned it in there, like if you took a picture of a whiteboard, you plotted something out on a whiteboard or on a chalkboard and took a picture of it, it would save it and keep it, and you can search that text. And it searches within files too. It does have free, premium, and business plans as well. I use the premium one. It's the most popular one. The biggest reason that I use that one is because with the free one, you're limited to 2 devices. And I need 4, because I've got my work computer, my home computer, iPad, and iPhone. So I want 4. That's the biggest reason that I pay for the premium one. But it's something I use every day. I use it for every job that I do, so I can write it off on the taxes. And so really neat. You can take notes, capture stuff. Has collaboration. All kinds of neat things. Alright, so like I said, I use this for so many things. One of them is tracking and planning projects. Some of the things that I've written and published, I actually wrote the entire thing in Evernote. From beginning to the stage where I had to put it in a Word document to send to the publisher, it wrote it in there. And so it's a great project, or great program for just about any kind of project. A new feature that they just added in the past 6 months, I guess, is templates. It's always had templates, but you had to like highlight the whole thing and copy and paste it. And now it has a thing where you just click a button and it shows up. It's fantastic. So you can create them and you can upload them and those kinds of things. One of the templates that I use that people ask me for all the time, and I'll be glad to share it with you if you want me to, is my convention tracking template. And so I have a notebook for all the events and a table that I created that has like when the event is, what the dates are, what the status is, did I apply or whatever, links to things like the hotel reservation, stuff like that. And so put all kinds of things in there. I'll actually just show you around in there a little bit. Okay. So this is basically what it looks like, and I can't really make it any bigger, but I can make the text bigger in just a minute. So you have, over here you have shortcuts, and you can put anything in the shortcut. You can put a note, you can put a notebook, you can put a stack. So anything that you want in the shortcuts you can move. For example, if I wanted my events notebook, I just drag it and drop it up there, and it'll be in my shortcuts. And it shows up on your mobile version too. And so I do all the schools I teach at, things that I want to look at or read, like articles, can forward them in there. Events. This is the event table that I was telling you about. Let me just open it up bigger. So it's just a table, and within it, so I put the dates, I put where it was located, what the name was, the name of the place, what day I applied. This is actually a screenshot of where I applied for it, so that I'm like, I know, I have a visual thing that I know I applied. So all the emails that they sent, things like that. And I do that for every event that I'm going to, like here's Contagion. So for all of them. And all of these link to various notes. So like here's the email that I got that I forwarded in saying, yes, we want you to come. So I put all of those things and it just links. They link so nicely to each other. Let me just go back and back to it. So that's that one. I actually have, if you do a lot of events, I actually have things I can copy and paste about who I am to put in the little fill in the blank things. So like when you start applying to go to events and things like that, you're going to find you're typing the same information over and over again. So I just dropped it in here so that I could, save it. So that's kind of event planning. For series, I created a notebook. I have a dashboard for the actual series, and this is the same one I've showed you on all three of them. But kind of just the title, the series that it's in, the premise. I have links to the character sheets for each character, locations. So for example, that'll just take me to that character's profile page. Super easy to put links into. You just right click on it and then copy note link and then paste it. And if you copy the note link, the neat thing that it'll do is it will put it up here. Instead of just being some weird looking link, it'll actually put whatever the title of the note is. So just, Control V for pasting. Let's see. So I have the outlines. I have book 3 outlined, but not book 1. Long story. Different outlines for each one, and then I can link it to the actual chapter where I've written it. So you can put that in there. And character sheets. Some of them have more than others. Some of them are main characters. Different locations, like this is the map that you saw in Trello. World building stuff, notes, whatever I want to put in there. One of the nice things about this is that you can, let's see, go to note details, and it'll tell you when it was last synced. Like this is 130, I don't know if you can see that, that's really small, but right here it says like the number of words, so you can keep track of your word count. So what I really like to do is I'll have my phone with me, and I can a lot of times type with my thumbs faster than not. So I'll write in Evernote, and it'll just sync up and put it in there. For example, one of the short stories that I had published, I actually wrote the whole short story in Evernote on my phone in my parents' backyard because I was watching the sleeping infant and they were doing stuff. So I wrote the whole story just, kind of hanging out there, watching the sleeping kid and, sitting outside when it was nice. And it just synced up and then I could copy and paste it into Word. And it was pretty easy to format from there. Also, in the note details, you can see when it was created, when it was updated. If you have the premium version, you can view the history. So it'll show you the different ones. So if you accidentally delete something, you can go back and see the versions of the note all the way back to the beginning of time. Beginning of the note's time. Which is really handy because I wish that I had done it in Evernote, but when I was creating the slideshow for this, did the whole thing. It took like 2 or 3 hours, so I did it, and then I accidentally deleted it. Oof. I had to do it all again the next day. So, could have saved it, but I didn't. So this, a couple times a day usually, it'll update, and you can go back and revert to an earlier version if you need to. That is a premium feature, though. Let's see. Another thing you can do. Let's go here. This is one of the tables that I've got saved as a template that I can use, and it's just for plotting. I like using kind of the 3-act structure for a lot of things, especially like novellas, so I can tell like which act it's in, where things need to happen, what the status is, what my goal is, what my actual word count is, and know where I am in a project. That way, if I have to go away from it for a month, I can go back and say, okay, this is where I was when I had to pick up for it. But I told you there were templates. So this is what it looks like when you just create a new note. Like I said, blank white page. Okay, pretty kind of daunting. But you can choose a template, and they have a built-in template gallery. And so if you are, creative writing, it's got one. So if you click on creative writing, it already has some built-in templates that you can use. So it has like 3-act plotting structure. This is different than the one I made because I didn't want mine to be so colorful. I wanted it to be plain. And so, it has, make it bigger there, kind of what it is. And all you do is you just click on it and there it is in my notes. So you've already got all this stuff there. So super, super easy. But for their creative writing ones, they have a story dashboard, character profile, story premise. They always have a whole bunch that come out around NaNoWriMo that they'll do. They have things like personal well-being, like you can reflect, or if you want to lose weight or get tired or make a habit. I love the habit tracker. So with this one, it's like a 30-day challenge, particularly if you wanted to make sure you wrote every day. This one's a great one to use because you can then, click off which days. Are you guys familiar with a concept called "Don't Break the Chain"? Mm-hmm. Some people know. Basically, what it is it's trying to create a habit. So you get like a calendar with the squares and stuff, mm-hmm. just like a month calendar. And every day you do the thing, you cross it off. And as you go so far, it starts to look like a chain. And you don't want to break the chain, so you don't want to miss a day. So the further and further you get, you're building a chain. So this works in a similar kind of way to it. And then, down here you can put like what your word count was or what you worked on or whatever it is. Just as kind of a way to, see, it even says congratulations. Isn't that great? So it says you don't have to stop, but you can keep going. And then you can put notes and, all that kind of stuff. And these are things that it just has in there. Templates. As you can see, there's like for life, for school, for work, has menus, gift trackers, support network, projects. I use the project template quite a bit. But you can also create your own. So here's templates that I've created that I use. So for example, if I'm, remember earlier I showed you the template to do is for the developmental edit, copy edit, proofread, cover. So I have a similar one in here, and so it just has the status of things. Because I used to do a lot of that in here, but I've moved it over to do it lately, just because it sends me better reminders. Let's see. Here's the novella plot outline thing. Different types of stuff. I'm trying to see if there was anything else here. One I want to show you is the writing one. Is this where the templates live? Is that where the templates live? I can't remember where I saved the templates. Oh, there, templates. So for one of the templates that I created that I really like is the media kit. And this is, once you've written your book, you can send this out to people that need the information. So for example, if you're sending it to bloggers or, saying, hey, will you review my book, reviewers, that kind of thing, you can put the information in, attach a press release file. You could, include like your Facebook, social media connections, any of those kinds of things. Tagline, blurb, ISBN, price, all that kind of stuff. And, they'll have it all in one place. And if you share the note, it does a really cool thing. It looks nice. I like how it looks when you, even if they don't have Evernote, they can pull this up. So it looks nice when you put it, in there. They can open it up, they can look at it, and find the information that they need. Let's see. Here's one that I created for building a character. So this is a little bit different than the one Evernote has. Here's the convention tracking template. Make that a little bigger. So pretty banner. I just made that in Photoshop. Nothing fancy. But you can drop images in there, and then you can resize them. So if you want it really small, it can be there. If you want it really big, it can be there. And it does adapt for mobile, so it'll look, it won't look all wonky on mobile. So that's kind of what. Dashboard. Here's the dashboard template that I created, story title, series, the one I was showing you earlier, and kind of, what a link to the chapter outline. And again, you could drop like Word files in here if you wanted to. And if you put a Word file in there and you change it, it'll save in there and keep it. So lots of neat little things. Do you have questions about that one?
Under the Evernote on the slides, it's got new feature. It doesn't. Just has new feature on there. I wonder what you were talking about.
The templates.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, the templates for it. Because that is a pretty new thing. Used to, what I would have to do is like go to this. If I wanted to use this one again, I'd go to it, and you could copy note to or duplicate note. But now you can just push that little template button, and it'll pop it in there automatically. All right, so we have a few minutes left. It's like 3 minutes till 2. Do you guys have any questions? I have a few more little tools I'm just going to put up here on the screen to show you that have honorable mention for it. OneNote connects to Microsoft. Bear is a really nice writing app. It is Mac only at the moment, but they're working on a web app. It's brand new. It's like less than 2 years old. Things 3 is another task manager. Notion's really cool. It's about it's notion.so if you go online. But it's a database, basically. You can create wikis and all kinds of super cool stuff. It would probably take me like 3 hours just to show you how it worked. think Evernote's kind of daunting, that one's really daunting, but so powerful. Agenda, Zoho Notes, those are also kind of note-taking things. Asana is like a project management. Pocket, you can just keep stuff. Google Keep, same thing. So all kinds of neat stuff that's out there, but the three that I recommend the most are Todoist and Trello and Evernote. Not in any particular order, but.
The templates that you have made in Evernote, are those
Yes.
shareable?
Yes, I can share them. Yeah, so I just would send you the link to it, and then you could save it. Yeah. So, speaking of which, so here is, and this is on your handout thing. And if you didn't get a handout, there's some up here, so be sure to get one. My website, pretty much all of my social media is either Melissa McArthur Writes or just McArthur Writes. And then my email. So if you want me to send you any of the templates that I've created, just send me an email and I can send them to you. Be glad to do that. And do y'all have other questions? Yeah.
So with regards to the software you had from mention, what about my recommended the program Scrum Initiative?
Yes,
Do you have any experience with that?
I do. Yes, I have a love-hate relationship with Scrivener.
Don't we all?
I find myself procrastinating a lot with it, playing with settings and things. I do a lot of the things that I would do in Scrivener, I actually do in Evernote. And it has better sync. I've had problems before in the past with Scrivener and my iPad not syncing properly together and then losing stuff.
Evernote plays better with others.
Yeah,
I like
Scrivener is great, but it's very siloed.
Yeah, it is. It's a fabulous program, and I want to love it so bad. I really do. It's just
Scrivener you don't want to sync through G Drive. Pretty much you have to use Dropbox.
I use Dropbox with it,
yeah.
Because it's how most of them synchronize. Does not play well with Scrivener.
That's probably my problem. I probably need to set it up to do Dropbox.
Dropbox.
Yeah.
It works much better with Dropbox.
Does it? Yeah.
Or just write it in one place, if you only write it in one place. then-
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Because it has a lot of the stuff that it can create all kinds of things. It can put stuff in standard manuscript format for you and all of that. It is a little expensive. I think it's like $45.
It's $40, but that's a household license.
Oh, is it?
It is.
Mhm.
Nice.
And
Okay.
if you win Nano, even if it's just Camp Nano, you get half off.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I got it for half off. They usually do it once a month.
Very cool.
And they have a 30-day. They have a 30-day you can try it. You don't have to use the 30 days consecutively.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Yeah.
it's,
I use it for
it's
only
30
Like that's all
actual
it's
calendar days that
I
you write.
don't multiple
The
times.
name generator is fun,
Yes.
if you didn't know that existed.
Oh yeah, I love it. And there's so many of them that you can get as like fantasy characters or all those kinds of things too. They're super awesome. There's so much out there that's really awesome for writers. Yeah.
The video recording of this, is that going to be available anywhere to share or?
I don't know, Jim.
Suck up. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, will be available. Yes, the video of this will be available. We'll let you know how and when.
I will say,
But if you signed up at Falstaff, we'll get that list as well, and we'll let you know.
Yeah. And I have business cards up here, so if you want them, I have Authors Essentials and Falstaff both. They all go actually to the same place, but you're more than welcome to let me know if you have questions. I'd love feedback. What works, what doesn't, because I try to
I
change
was
these
gonna
up a
say,
little bit.
when you signed me up for cello, I was amazed at how easy that was to use.
It's
like
really
there were
fun.
some little nuanced things I had to pick up along the way, but like first day, it's just like it's organized. You jump in as somebody coming onto a project that's already happening.
Mhm.
You just walk right in, and it's like this makes sense, and you just move forward.
Yeah. Good.
So that actually kind of leads me to the question I had. These are clearly cloud-based apps. Are the interfaces web-based or is it a download?
They have both. All
Okay.
three of these have both.
Okay.
They all have like an app that you can download onto a computer or a phone or tablet. They also have you can go to www.trello.com and access all of the things that you need, or Evernote. They all have a web one, so any computer that you can log onto the internet on, you can access it. You can use them offline if you have the app downloaded, but if you
And then
have,
when you get back online, it syncs back.
yeah,
Cool. Thank you.
absolutely. Yeah, and it, Evernote has this cool thing it does that I really like is it has conflicts. So if for some reason it says it's saved 2 versions of your note, it will tell you. It will put them in. You can look and see which one you want.
Yeah, and it'll tell you which is the more recent.
Right. Yeah, and then you can just say, "Yep, that's the one," and delete the other one.
Cool.
So it does that. Other questions?
That's it.
Any programs you'd like to see more in depth? At events like this.
I'd like to see more on that first one to do at another convention, but
Yeah. When we started talking at Atomicon, you got me on Trello and Evernote. The to-doist is new. I'm gonna sit there like obsess over it. Like it's gonna be more of a time suck than anything.
Okay, I'll show you how. This is how ridiculous I am. I have their wallpaper as my phone. Wallpaper. Yeah.
So if we did webinar versions of this, would that work for you guys?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
actually, yeah, webinar, yeah.
Awesome. What about Scrivener? Would you like a
Yes.
one for Scrivener? Because I know that could be a whole class just in itself.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. That
there's
could
a
be
lot. I know
day.
a tab of what Scrivener can do.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Thank
Or
you
how
so
about a
much.
class on how to format for sending things in? Can you how to use these in the process of sending it?
Use Scrivener for compiling.
Most of these I just do. Yeah, Scrivener does a great job putting things in standard manuscript format.
Yeah, but for some reason, like I don't like editing. I write
It
Scrivener
doesn't-
Nobody
and I
does.
edit Word.
I write in Scrivener or Evernote, and then I edit
Export
Word.
it.
I mean,
Yeah.
export Word. But Scrivener is great for organizing bigger stuff for me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm trying to adapt to Evernote, and I've been using Evernote for
until it has to go to
short
someone.
stories.
Yeah, the compile is just so many little options.
And you're just
on
copy
the-
pasting into Word?
No, export.
Oh,
And with like Evernote, you'd have to copy and paste because it just does text. But it's just going to put text, so then you can really easily format the whole thing. I have it actually set up as a style, so then I can just click that style thing in Word, and it does the magic.
Does the magic.
It does, yes.
Does glitter come out of your computer at that point?
Occasionally, depends on how close to Christmas it is.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, cat hair.
There.
I appreciate you guys coming. Hopefully this was helpful.
Yeah, it was. Terry. Thank you very
Also,
much.
feedback, and so if and emails and so get in touch. And again, I have cards up here. They have different email addresses than what's up here, but they all go to the same place. So.
And if you want to, I've got the other sign up, so when the video comes out, you guys can find out where it's at.
Thank
If
you
you give me 2
again.
seconds, I'll pull it out too.